Hey, golfers, it's time to tee it up on the Back Nine Boys Golf Show, brought to you by Bridgestone Golf. Play the ball that fits you. By Sea Palms Resort. Join today and improve your short game at the member Miracle Practice Facility. And by Club Car, the club leader in golf utility and fun personal vehicles. By Mizuno Golf, reach beyond. And by RSM, proud sponsor of the RSM Classic, giving back to our communities. Today, we're going to talk with Jason Mengold, Tournament Director of the Ryder Cup, just completed at Whistling Straits with a USA win. Jason said working with Steve Stricker in his home state was great and that merchandise sales were 40% more than what they expected. Then we'll talk with Mike Cook, the golf coach at Coastal Georgia, about this year's team and one of his top 5 golfers, Marcus Reynolds of Athens. And then we'll talk with Kelley Peregoy of Kelken Enterprises about his golf club, his golf glove that helps you to not grip your club too tight. And I've tried it, and it works. But first up is my talk with Coastal Georgia's coach, Mike Cook, and one of his players, Marcus Reynolds. And I asked Coach Cook how the team was doing this year.
Well, Rich, this year we had a lot of players that came back from last year. We had 3 returning All-Americans. And it's almost the same team as last year. We did have 1 freshman I signed. He's a local kid. His name is Thomas Henderson. He went to Frederick Academy. He's a really good player. He's played well for us already this year. He has a lot of experience. So he's the newcomer, sort of the wild card, if you want to call it that. But the team played well in the last tournament at Innisbrook. We finished second. A strong field. There were 20 teams. I think 16 or 15 of the teams were ranked in the nation.
That's strong.
They gave us a 4th place ranking preseason, but
Right.
that's kind of based on last season. I'm not sure that we're 4th. I'd probably give us a top 10 the way we've played so far, but I think they gave us a good ranking to start with. But we played well, and some of the new guys in the lineup are Marcus Reynolds here and Thomas Henderson, and they've produced well. And the kids that are I shouldn't call them kids, student athletes that are past All-Americans, of course, is Chip Thompson,
Right.
Jackson Lawler, and Joe Tucker, and they're 2 of them are COVID seniors. It's their 5th year. They get to play an extra year, and they have tons of experience. So we're glad they came back.
All right. And what's coming up as far as tournament-wise for the rest of this year, as far as your tournaments are concerned?
Well, this fall, we have one more big event down at Mission Inn in Howey in the Hills, Florida, Mission Inn Resort.
Oh, yeah. Good courses.
Yeah. I call it Mission Impossible.
Yeah. Right.
It's,
can't be on. Yeah.
I played there when I was a miniature player, when I was playing for a living. And one of the players, the hole that goes straight up the hill.
Yeah.
Well, the guy I was playing with spun it off the green from 150 yards out, and the ball rolled all the way back down to his feet, 150 yards. And he picked up his ball and said, "This is Mission Impossible." And he walked in. And that's why I call it Mission Impossible. He walked in. No, it's a fun course.
Yeah.
I like the course.
Okay.
But that's called the Kaiser Cup. Kaiser University sponsors that. They're the best team in the country. We've played against them at both events this year, and they beat us pretty well.
Yeah.
They're going to win everything they play in. And hopefully by May, we're going to get better, and maybe they won't play as well as they normally do. We may have a shot at nationals, but
Okay.
we've got to get better.
Right.
If we're going to take them on.
Well, let's talk about getting better. Marcus, you played last year, and you improved quite a bit from last year to this year. What do you think has been the key?
Probably adjusting more than anything, getting more comfortable, especially with school. Last year was the first time, I was all online last year. Last time was the first time I ever had an online class in school before. So that was a big adjustment. Actually having to qualify, that's one thing too. In high school, you sign up, you're on the team. Here you actually have to qualify. It's much different. So I would just say getting more comfortable.
Is your confidence better now than it was last year based on the transitions that you had to have from online classes to qualifying?
Certainly, yes. My confidence is, I was not very confident last year. I didn't play well. I worked really hard this summer, really just worked on playing better in tournaments because that's where I struggled. I think just putting in all the hard work has really helped my confidence a lot.
So when you say you put in hard work, what are you putting your hard work into? Is it your complete game or is it certain aspects of your game?
Definitely certain aspects, improving. I've worked a lot with my swing coach this summer, Ray Cutright. He's based out of Brunswick Country Club. We put in a lot of work in my swing this year, putting in a lot of work in my short game. I wasn't happy with my putting towards the end of last year. And one of the biggest things, probably getting stronger. I've been working with Randy Myers here at Sea Island, and he's helped me a lot too.
And getting stronger, and I think more importantly, confidence can really help your game. If you're more confident behind whatever shot you have, you're going to end up playing better.
Certainly. I've not even really hitting the ball further, just being able to last through rounds and mentally being there is so much better than last year.
All right, Coach, let's go back to you and talk about what's going on with your big coastal tournament that's coming up, the Mariners Golf Challenge. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, that's our third annual tournament fundraiser for the men's and women's golf team at Coastal Georgia. All our players, student athletes, and coaches from the golf programs will be there that day assisting the teams. It's going to be held at Sea Palms on the 17th of October. It's a 1:00 shotgun. Prior to that, though, we're going to have a clinic. Myself and David Angelotti of Sea Island, the putting guru instructor here at Sea Island, is going to also give a putting clinic. I'm going to give a chipping clinic. So hopefully that'll be helpful to some of the players. But we're going to have plenty of food. Jimmy John's is giving us lunch, and we're going to have food afterwards, drinks. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got great prizes. We'll get to meet the team. It's $250 a player, and we're looking for some more teams. And I think it's going to be great. And I'll say one thing about Marcus. He stepped it up because last year he was having trouble cracking that top five, and it wasn't just him. We have 10 players on the team, and only 5 travel.
Right.
And he's a competitor, and it hurt him more than anything not to qualify and make that top 5. But he's done his work, and when he qualified that first time this fall, he's over the hill, and that's what it takes sometimes. Get that first feeling that you're playing for the team and not as an individual. Some of these tournaments that we do, and but hopefully the rest of the team will learn from what he's doing and work just as hard, and we'll have more chemistry as we move along.
Marcus, what do you think about your coach saying that, you were struggling to get in the top 5 last year, and now you're kind of, as he said, over the hill? That usually pertains only to older people, but you're over the hill, meaning you're over the hump, and now you're playing great.
I would say everything he just said is spot on. Last year in the tournaments we all were able to play in, I played well, but then once I got back to qualifying, I would really struggle. And I would like to thank him as well for giving me the opportunity and really just to give me a lot of opportunities to improve myself, not only as a golfer, but I guess as a young man, and being able to get my education at Coastal Georgia.
That is Mike Cook, the coach of the Coastal Georgia golf team, and Marcus Reynolds, one of his top 5 players this year. And by the way, the Mariners Golf Challenge has been changed to April of next year, and it will also be at Sea Palms Resort. Hey, do you need a new glove? Well, stay with us to hear about one that helps you with your grip. And I've tried it, and it works. And we'll be back with that right after we talk about CJ's. Check out their monthly specials created by the local elementary schools. Whatever the schools decide to create, you can buy those, order those, and part of the proceeds goes back to those schools, always helping the community and helping you. CJ's Italian Restaurant, family owned by Graham and Ada Owens. Check out their full menu at cjsitalianrestaurant.com. And you know they're known for, if you say pizza, the only place to go is CJ's. Their deep dish is just fantastic. It's great. So is the deep dish and the cauliflower crust. So check out everything you want. You can pick it up right at the door. Just call your order in. It'll be ready when you get there. CJ's Italian Restaurant. Check out their full menu at cjsitalianrestaurant.com. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Zach Johnson from the PGA Tour, and you're listening to the Back Nine Boys Golf Show.
Back, I'm Rich Stiles. Glad you're with us. Our next guest is Kelley Peregoy of Kelken Enterprises. Kelley has created a golf club that helps your grip. Good morning, Kelley, and welcome to the Back Nine Boys Golf Show.
Morning, Rich. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So tell us about the Pro Air golf glove.
Okay, what it is we have put some air bubble technology on the palm side. And what this does, it keeps you from over gripping the club. I'd say 90% of my students, they over grip. And
Right.
they don't realize it. They say, well, I feel like my grip is loose. But what happens when they take the club back? Natural instinct kicks in. Say, grip it tighter because I feel like I'm going to lose the club.
Right.
Well,
So-
the bubbles right here automatically take the guesswork out. So the harder you press, those little tiny bubbles will push your fingers back off the grip.
it'd be interesting if when you say bubbles, first thing I think about is, well, if I squeeze too tight, they're going to pop.
No, they won't pop.
Yeah, I know. I was just kidding. But how did you come up with the idea? I mean, there's a lot of golf clubs out there from a lot of big companies. So how did you come up with this kind of technology?
Well, like I said, I've teaching students. I'm trying to figure out how I can solve the problem
Yeah.
instead of putting a Band-Aid on it. And that's basically how I come up with the idea.
And in your research, you had to find that one of the issues, and you said your students, you found when you try and grab the club from them, they keep holding onto it, which means they're gripping it too tight.
Exactly. Even the touring pros, they think that you could probably see them wiggle their fingers just a little bit, try to loosen that grip. But it's like being on a roller coaster. When you grab onto the bar in front of a roller coaster, you don't grip that tight until you go down that first drop. It's the same thing with the golf club. When you take it back, it's natural instincts will kick in to say grip tighter.
And when you grip tighter, what happens to the golf club at that point as compared to when you don't grip it tighter?
Well, it causes a lot of problems. They can either snap hook it, but most people either will probably go to the right.
Yeah, so it kind of fades a little bit if you're a right-handed golfer.
Exactly.
And then they wonder why that happened. And taking it loose and taking it back and then getting through it makes such a difference in your golf swing.
Oh, definitely.
All right, give us the website so our listeners can go to it and look for the Kelken Pro Air Grip Golf Glove.
It is www.proairgrip.com.
Proairgrip.com. And how has the response been on it, Kelley?
Oh, it's been tremendous. I've got a lot of my customers, even in a year and a half, they've ordered like 17 to 20 gloves. And here's another thing I wanted to point out is that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. And since we've been selling since 2017, we've never given a refund because the customer was dissatisfied. So
Never.
Ken and I are very proud of that.
Yeah, you would be.
Partner on that.
All right. So when people order, I mean, you just said some order 17 to 20, but what is the normal order? Because I know if you get one and you really like it, you probably want more. So what is the normal order that people get when they call you or order it online?
Well, most people order one or two, but like I say, right now we have started running our golf ball, the incinerator, and we're giving away a free glove with the purchase of a dozen golf balls.
At the same website?
It's the same website.
All right.
Ball does not hook or slice.
All right. So it does not. All right. So tell us about the new golf ball.
Okay, what it does, it has a stem in the middle of each dimple. So when the wind picks it up on one side of the dimple, that stem is sort of like a tree. It blocks the wind off on the back side of the dimple. Takes that spin off. So that's what causes your hooking and slice when that wind hits the back side of that ball.
So with the incinerator, which you now can order and you get a free glove, you're saying that the incinerator ball, based on the way you've designed it and manufactured it, will go straight.
Exactly. If it hooks or slice, we're going to give you money back. It's just that simple.
Well, that's a pretty strong statement. How are the sales been so far, and how have you begun to market it?
Okay, our first day on the pre-orders. We're right now we're doing pre-orders. Our first day, not really advertising. We just shot out a few emails. We got 50 dozen the first day, and we started at it 12 o'clock. So we only did a half a day. So we've got a great response. And also we're coming out with a second phase where we're putting a gel on the inside when cold weather comes in that it'll keep it from losing distance.
Now, Kelley, this sounds fantastic, and I know a lot of people are going to question, how do you know that? I mean, how have you tested it? And how much research and development can back up what you just said?
Well, like I said, we've got a touring pro, and I'm not going to mention any names right now.
Okay.
But I've had several golf pros. One is out of Charlotte also that have tried their best to hook it, and that they did a test run for me. One of them hit it 189 yards with a 7-iron, which was unreal. I couldn't believe it. But the USGA has approved the dimple pattern and the inside gel of the ball. The only thing we have left is the distance testing, and we're waiting on our new samples to come in so I can send it to the USGA.
And a lot of people will say, because you have USGA approval, I'm interested, and now I want to get the ball. That's got to help your sales and got to help the validity of what you're saying.
Exactly, Rich.
What other products? You've got a golf glove, you've got the golf ball. What else are you working on, Kelley?
Well, we've got a putter grip. What this does, I made it out of the same material as the glove. It's very, very soft, and I put a cord on it, and you can choose which color cord you want.
Okay.
That cord adjusts the firmness. But the softer you get that grip, it takes the hands out. A lot of people use their hands, that leverage on their putting grip. You're supposed to use your shoulders, and that makes you a better putting stroke, and you will see a big difference on your scores. Also, I've got insoles called the Pro Air Equalizer, which is not on our website right now. It will keep you from swaying on the shot, on your takeaway and your fall through.
All right. Again, go ahead. No, go ahead.
A lot of people sway on the shot, and they don't realize it causes mid-hit.
You're right. You're right.
It can also cause shanks when you sway.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you are in some extremely competitive fields, not only from the glove and especially the golf ball, putter grips, and now insoles. I mean, you're up against some pretty stiff competition. How are you going to get the word out to folks about all these things and what they can do?
Well, we're like I say, we're going to start advertising a lot. And the only thing I can say is we fix the problem instead of put a Band-Aid on it. A lot of people look at the golf balls and clubs on the market now. Basically, they're not that much different because they're at the max on their distance and everything. And a lot of people don't realize that. So we try our best to fix the problem instead of putting a Band-Aid on it and calling it a different name.
All right, let's jump back to the golf ball. One of the things you said you're waiting to get tested is distance. A lot of manufacturers are out there saying with the new clubs, but also with some of the golf balls that are out there, that we're going to give you 10 to 15 more yards. You're eliminating a lot of the dispersion factor that you have in a golf ball. And are you saying, or will you say, that you will get more distance by hitting your incinerator golf ball?
I'm not saying you will get more distance, because you got to realize every golf ball out there on the market is at the max. If they go to the USGA, they're set at 120 mile an hour swing speed. And if they go beyond 317 yards, and they will give you a 3-yard leadway. If it goes beyond that, it's illegal. So all these golf companies, their golf balls are at the max. So they cannot say it can go further. Because mine, if I claim mine goes further, it's going to be illegal.
Right.
It's just that simple.
Right. But yours might go farther for the average golfer because it's not going to hook and it's not going to fade, which will improve the distance if it goes, as you say, with the way you've created it, straighter.
Well, like I said, we're just trying to keep it where the average amateur, especially the amateur golfers, can keep this ball in play. That's our objective. Now, the aerogel is going to help you gain yards. I'm not going to say it's going to exceed the yardage, but what it is, a regular golf ball in cold weather,
right,
will lose 10 to 15 off the tee box.
And you're saying now with that gel in it that it's not going to lose that many yards. All right. And when will those be available?
We're we're projecting probably January 1st or before then.
Is the PGA show in January, which is going to happen this year, is that something that you would go to and present all your products?
Yes, we have a booth reserved, and I will be there at the end of January on the 26th to 28th.
I will be there as well. I'm definitely going to come over and see you. I'm very intrigued by what you're doing. The golf club that I used did work. I will wait for the golf balls. How have people received it, and what kind of comments have you had from the pro that you're working with about the golf ball and the gloves?
Well, the touring pro said this was very, very promising. Is the main thing that they said.
Okay.
And like I said, the other pro, he said, "Buddy, I try my best to hook and slices. I couldn't do it." And he said, "Come off fast off the club face."
And what about the putter grips and the insoles?
Okay, now the putter grips, we really haven't pushed that much. A lot of people go to our website and see it. We've been mainly pushing the golf ball in the glove.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. All right. Give our listeners the website again. If you want a glove that helps you not grip it tighter and you want a ball that goes straighter, give us the website.
It is ProAirGrip.com.
You got it. Kelley, I can't thank you enough for being with us. I'm glad we've had an opportunity to talk and about your products, and definitely we will stay in touch, and good luck with what's coming up for you.
Thank you, Rich, and thank you, everybody, for listening.
All right. Kelley Peregoy of Kelken Enterprises talking about a new golf glove and new golf balls that are coming out. Next up, we're going to talk with Jason Mengo, tournament director of the Ryder Cup at Whistling Straits. Can't wait to talk to him. Big smile on his face as we talk to him about the big win for the USA team. But Mizuno Golf has always had the best irons in the game. The JPX 921 series offers feel and performance to suit players of all skill levels. The new STG 220 driver offers maximum adjustability with the combination of 3 tracks and 2 movable weights. And now you can complete your whole bag with our brand new T22 wedges featuring 3 finishes and 4 unique sole grinds to improve your short game. Check out all that is new with Mizuno at MizunoGolf.com. Nothing feels like Mizuno, so reach beyond.
Escape the chaos of everyday life and embrace the great outdoors. The Club Car Lot for neighborhood golf cart.
All right, we've got Jason on.
Combinations of custom seats, wheels, powertrains, and create adventure every adventure. Whether you're on the golf course,
He wasn't too bad, was he?
No, I thought that was interesting.
Hi, I'm Jack Nicholas II of Nicholas Companies, and you're listening to the Back Nine Boys Golf Show.
As we are on the phone with Jason Mengel, the tournament director of the Ryder Cup in Wisconsin. And good morning, Jason. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on today.
Kind of an exciting Ryder Cup. I mean, not only because of the USA win, but I mean, it was really a great Ryder Cup.
Yeah, it was a very exciting week up here. And, it certainly helps when during the match rounds we get perfect weather. And then to see the U.S. team win in the fashion that they did was icing on the cake.
So I got to ask you, how did you become the Ryder Cup tournament director? I mean, what an honor, what a privilege. I mean, it's a dream come true for many.
Yeah, and I don't take that responsibility lightly. I've worked for the PGA of America since about 2006. And before that, had worked for a PGA Tour event in my home state of Michigan. And so the way our events work at the PGA of America is, every 2 years you're moving to a new location. And so I was here in the same role for the 2015 PGA Championship and knew I was ultimately going to come back for the Ryder Cup.
So you've kind of stayed around that area. So what's next for you?
Yeah, I'm scheduled right now to go to, well, first of all, we're going to be here tearing things down through the end of the year at least.
Right.
But then I'm scheduled to go to our new PGA of America headquarters in Frisco, Texas.
And it's just up to them, or do you have any idea what you might be doing at that point?
Oh yeah, I'm going to run the as part of that relocation package. We're building 2 golf courses there. The championship course is being built by Gil Hans, and we're bringing one of our spectator championships there every other year for the foreseeable future.
All right. So what did it mean to you to become the tournament director of the Ryder Cup in the United States?
Yeah, it is, again, very humbling honor and very heavy responsibility. But we've got such a great team. There's 12 of us that were on site, and that doesn't count the host committee. Just like the Super Bowl has a host committee, the Ryder Cup has a host committee. David Kohler from the Kohler Company, who's our host site partners here at Whistling Straits, was the general chair. We had probably 70 committee chairs helping in all aspects of the event. And then, of course, PGA of America headquarters, there's a number of people. Basically, every department at headquarters touches this event one way or another. So it was a group effort. But our on-site team here has been on-site at Whistling Straits planning for this event since October of 2017. I did go to Charlotte and had the same role for the 2017 PGA Championship. So even when I was there, we were still doing things here that would impact the Ryder Cup.
And how was it working with the Kohler Company?
Fantastic. They have the same goal that all of us do, which was to make this the best Ryder Cup ever and to hand it back to the Europeans for 2023 in Rome in better shape than we found it. And I think we have done that.
I think the golf course, the weather obviously helped a lot, but
Sure.
I think the golf course showed incredibly just because of the great weather. I mean, it did not look to me like Wisconsin.
No, and if you tuned into the broadcast and saw the sailboats out in Lake Michigan, you wouldn't have known if you were, especially with the certain hue that the lake is this time of year, you wouldn't have known if you were looking at Bermuda or something like that. It looked that good.
Yeah. How was it working with Steve Stricker? I mean, all around great guy. I mean, everybody loved Steve Stricker. He's been on Ryder Cup teams. He's been a player assistant. He's been a captain assistant. How was he to work with?
Yeah, I mean, can't say enough good things about not only Steve, but his entire family. It's really been a treat to get to know them over the past several years and to work closely with them and to ultimately be a small part of this lifetime memory that they have winning the Ryder Cup in their home state.
Yeah, that was really cool when I heard that he was going to be the Ryder Cup captain in his home state. I mean, it had to be, as you said, a dream come true.
Yeah.
Do you know at this point, I know there were some predictions prior to the Ryder Cup, but Jason, do you know at this point the economic impact? Did it meet your expectations or was it exceeded?
Yeah, I think it definitely met our expectations considering we had a fully attended event, which was not always, a given due to the pandemic. So the fact that we were able to host a full spectator attendance event and, Whistling Straits and Sheboygan, it's such a unique area where really the regional impact is kind of what we're measuring it on. And by that, I mean, we had guests staying up in Green Bay all the way down to Chicago, of course, Milwaukee, west out to Appleton. And so really the regional economic impact, I would anticipate to be right in line with the $135 million that we had from previous domestic Ryder Cups.
And how many fans did you end up having?
Yeah, I'm not going to speak to exact numbers because we get into the
right.
We'll just say we had a fully attended event, but I would like to stay away from exact numbers because you get into obviously the stadiums are different sizes, right? So what we had at Hazeltine isn't necessarily what we could have here at Whistling Straits, but we definitely had great support, and I think it felt like a Ryder Cup, which certainly was our goal.
Yeah, well, it definitely reached your goal on that. And ticket registrations, from what I read, were from all 50 states and over 120 countries.
Yeah, if you can believe that, really talks to the impact overall of the Ryder Cup, which is, again, it's amazing to be a part of that.
And how many volunteers do you need for a Ryder Cup? I'm sure it's more than for a regular PGA Tour event.
Yeah, even a PGA Championship, we had probably about 1,400 more than we would have had even at a PGA Championship. So we had about 4,000 volunteers, again, from all over the country and all over the world, really.
And how many people wanted to be a volunteer? And how do you determine, out of the number of people that wanted to be it, how did you determine who you were going to pick?
Yeah, we had over 30,000 people apply for those spots. If you can believe that. And we ultimately did a random selection, very similar to how we did tickets. So because of that demand, it was, again, just amazing demand, even for volunteer positions. And those volunteers are paying a fee, in many cases taking a week's worth of vacation, but they're also getting an amazingly memorable experience.
All right. Did you look at their experience, if they've done it, with a PGA Tour event before? Did that play into the factor?
Not really. Our host committee and the committee chairs here have many of them have been involved in every PGA Championship going back to 2004. So Whistling Straits has also hosted the 2004, the 10 PGA, and the 15 PGA. And so we had that built-in experience, and they were able to select a couple chairs picks along the way. But by and large, we just randomly selected those volunteers that were interested in typical volunteer positions.
Not only did the Ryder Cup at Whistling Straits looks great on TV, but it looked like it was in incredible condition.
Yeah, the grounds crew here, whether it's Chris Zugel or Jeff Wilson or Dirk Willis, leading the charge from Kohler's standpoint, they do great work. Obviously it's a short growing season here, as everyone can imagine, Wisconsin. Right. But the course looked phenomenal.
All right, so you have the Ryder Cup, they get done playing. What happened at night that maybe some of the us folks did not know about? I mean, what kind of entertainment and things happened at the Ryder Cup?
Sure. Well, definitely was a little different this year with the team being in the team zone to protect the competition. And so, looking at Sunday night, there definitely was some parties back at the American Club, which is where both teams were staying. But we also had a staff get together out here to just take a deep breath before we kind of entered the third phase of the event cycle, which is tearing this all down.
Yeah. And when we were talking about volunteers and we're talking about fans and so on, I know the restrictions from traveling from Europe probably held down a lot of the people who really wanted to attend, obviously, to support their team from Europe. But you have no idea at this point, how many were able to come over or how they came over.
Yeah, we definitely were disappointed that we weren't able to host the number of Europeans on site, but we wouldn't have known in advance if someone was living in the States and ultimately was going to be a fan of the European team. So, one group that actually made it over, which definitely their presence was felt on the first tee, was the Guardians of the Cup, which is the European Ryder Cup team fan group. So to have them on site, really just helped create that atmosphere that we've all come to expect from a Ryder Cup.
And what a great visual of them coming out with the green and gold and with the cheese hats on. I mean, they really got the U.S. crowd to appreciate what they were doing at the Ryder Cup, even though they were rooting for the Europeans.
Yeah, that was a great move and really, I'm sure gained some favor with the local Wisconsin sports fans.
Did you know that was going to happen?
I did not, but I was not surprised that it did ultimately.
Okay. All right, so here you are, the tournament director. You've spent all this time building out. You've got all the volunteers. Everything's in place. The weather looks like it's going to be perfect. When you're walking around the grounds and you're hearing the cheers, obviously, for the USA team, I mean, how are you feeling at that point?
Yeah, I'll be honest. Tuesday when the gates open, I might have quietly shed a couple tears, just because it's been such a long journey, and with the
Right.
postponement, I'm not going to say that I was as personally impacted by COVID as I know many people out there are. So obviously my heart goes out to them, but it'd been a long journey for myself personally, but also for the Strickers and for the Kohler Company, who've known they were going to host this event since 2005. So if you think that is a long
Oh,
time,
yeah.
and to finally have it be here and have it feel like a normal event, a normal Ryder Cup was great.
All that work, all those years, all the prep, and then it's over. Is it a
Yes.
downer for it to be over? I mean, did you not want it to be over?
I was definitely ready for it to be over. The week went great. We couldn't have ended any better from our
Yeah,
standpoint.
right.
So we had basically an evening to catch our breath, and then we immediately start taking everything down. And that process, as I mentioned earlier, is going to last through the end of the year. And then, we'll be paying bills and doing all the other non-fun stuff well into 22.
How long did it take to get Whistling Straits set up for the Ryder Cup? I mean, you said now it's going to take through the end of the year.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get set up?
Well, there was some pieces of infrastructure already in place from last year. So last year we postponed the event probably like early July, let's say. And so we already had gravel pads and many of those things in place. But construction on the stadium, if you will, started on May 24th this year. So long, almost 4 months of construction and build out.
And were you able to enjoy some of the celebrations or be in the PGA area for the U.S. team?
I was aware of what was going on, but I had plenty of responsibilities that kept me here at the golf course. But definitely had colleagues who work a little closer with the team that were sending me photos and videos and letting me know the great time that was being had, really by both teams.
Yeah, and I understand there was not as much of a ping pong competition as there was for the American team in the weight room.
Yes, yeah, that seemed to be where the team came together often, which is not really surprising when you look at some of the guys who were on the U.S. team this time.
And it seemed like it was more like these guys have played together. I mean, what a great team that they put together. I mean, these guys played together since they were teenagers, maybe prior to that. So it was kind of like a college get together for these guys, almost like a big college tournament because these guys have known each other for so long.
Yeah, you must have listened to Harris English's comments the other day about
I
talking
did.
about playing with several of these guys in college.
Yeah.
And even before that. So I think it's that kind of atmosphere that Captain Stricker set, and really that permeated throughout the team.
Well, we were thrilled knowing that Harris was on the team, and Harry is such a great guy, and I mean he's so laid back. But just seeing him on ESPN at the college game day, and then being in the middle of the stadium at Georgia, waving to all these fans, I mean it had to be an unbelievable event for him.
Yeah, it's nice to now that we did win, we control where the trophy goes, and to see some of the guys starting to have fun with it. That makes it all worthwhile.
And because these guys are so young, I mean, nobody over the age of 40, it looks like these guys are going to be together. The majority of the guys are going to be together for the next several years, which puts a big plus onto the USA side.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, as you mentioned, the oldest player was Dustin Johnson, who is, the savvy veteran of the group. So I think my prediction would be hopefully we'll remain dominant for years to come.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. Well, we got to take a quick break. Jason, stay on with us, and we'll be right back on the Back Nine Boys Golf Show with Jason, the Ryder Cup Tournament Director, right after this on the Back Nine Boys Golf Show.
Webb Simpson, PGA Tour. You're listening to the Back Nine Boys Golf Show.
And welcome back. I'm Rich Stiles. We're with Jason Mengel, the tournament director of the Ryder Cup. And Jason, what an unbelievable event you had an opportunity to be at with Captain Stricker, but also a lot of the assistant captains or captain's assistants. I'm not sure what the correct terminology is. I mean, you had Davis Love, former Ryder Cup captain, Jim Furyk, Ryder Cup captain, Freddie Couples, who's been obviously involved in President's Cups and Ryder Cup. I mean, what a great assembly of assistant coaches, captain's assistants that Stricker had.
Yeah, it was really a murderer's row, if you will, of vice captains. And, Tiger Woods was very involved, even though he wasn't on site. So you add him to the mix, and not in an official vice captain role, but still consulting with the team and weighing in when needed. So it was great to see really some of the biggest names, including Phil Mickelson, be so invested in this event that they all showed up for the practice round a couple of weeks in advance of the Ryder Cup. And, really to see those greats of the game be so invested. I think that certainly speaks to the impact of the Ryder Cup, but also to what they think of Steve Stricker.
Were you on the email list when Tiger was sending out to the captains and to the captain's assistants of what was going on?
I was not.
Were you surprised at that?
That he's so passionate about the Ryder Cup? No. Okay. Certainly, I've seen him at the Ryder Cups in the past, and so is well aware of what he thinks and what all the guys think of the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, it's his passion for this kind of competition, also the President's Cup. I mean, is just, you can't even talk about it because it's on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably a 15.
Yeah, I think, it's when you're playing for that flag on your chest and for the country or for the continent on the European side, it definitely means something different. Obviously to the team members, to the vice captains, to the captain, but also to the spectators on property and to the millions joining the broadcast around the globe. And that's what really makes the Ryder Cup so unique.
Yeah, you and I emailed and texted, and we talked about merchandise sales. Were you surprised at the explosion that happened in the merchandise tent?
I was a little surprised at our per cap number, positively surprised. But then if you step back and really think about it, this is one of the first major events that had full spectators. And so it's been a long run up to this Ryder Cup. So I wasn't surprised at all that people were gobbling up every piece of merchandise that they could get their hands on.
I heard that there were some figures of 40% above what you thought was going to be, or what they thought was going to be merchandise sales.
I'd say that's in the ballpark, certainly, when we look at our budget to actuals.
Yeah. Well, because you and I talked and I said, what do you have left? And you said, not much. There are no more ball markers, which I was very surprised at, but probably one of the cheaper items inside the tent. But I have also talked to some folks that went, and they said they went into the merchandise tent on Wednesday or Tuesday, and it was like so many empty spaces already.
Well, the amazing job that Mike Cork and our entire merchandise team did to, replenish the inventory throughout the week. So kudos to them. And if you go on Fanatics right now, you can see that we've actually got Champions merchandise available for fans of the U.S. team to purchase.
Oh, great. I'll go up. So any thoughts, or when will the PGA make an announcement on the Ryder Cup captain for 2023? Because obviously you worked on it for several years. Now we've got 2 years to work on this, and the captain obviously has got some work to do.
Yeah, the committee, which includes our leadership at the PGA of America, needs to kind of get together and recap this event and then kind of chart the path forward. But, we're already less than 2 years out from Rome. And so that conversation needs to happen in short order.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everybody's talking about Phil, Tiger, Freddie. I mean, there's obviously some very good choices that could happen.
Yeah, great pool of candidates for sure.
Now, will you be involved in the 2023 Ryder Cup in Rome?
Yeah, so it kind of is an opposite of what happened here. So here, the PGA of America really soup to nuts runs the event. And the European Ryder Cup Europe, who we work very closely with, kind of handles the European team logistics. And so we will handle the U.S. team logistics being at an away Ryder Cup.
Now, the 2023 Ryder Cup in Rome has a committee already over there. Did they attend the event at Whistling Straits?
Yes. So Ryder Cup Europe, who's an entity made up of several different golf bodies overseas, They were here and they made several site visits with or without Captain Harrington over the past several years. And then, we were having regular weekly calls with them as they got closer. And some of the Italian Federation did make it over.
Anything that happened during the event? I mean, you try. We've got about 30 seconds that you didn't expect that did happen.
Well, certainly on paper, you could have predicted a U.S. team win, but very, surprised to see it be as wide a margin as it was.
Yeah, well, we kind of got stomped the last time in Paris.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 7 points to 9 points. To me, it's not much of a difference.
No, not
or
at
10
all.
points, whatever. Yeah. Jason, I can't thank you enough for taking time to talk with us. Thank you. Appreciate what you did. Congratulations. And obviously, go USA.
Go USA. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Jason Mengel, Tournament Director at the Ryder Cup. Thank you for being with us. Back Nine Boys is heard every Saturday and Sunday, 8 to 9 on ESPNCoastal.com, on YouTube, and wherever you hear podcasts.
You've been listening to the Back Nine Boys Golf Show with Rich Stiles. Go to back9boys.com for all things golf whenever you want it. We'll be back next week with an all-new Back Nine Boys at back9boys.com.